Hey, what's happening, everybody? Hopefully your Thursday is off to a wonderful start. We got double sport day. We got football tonight. Cowboys taking on the Bears, two teams that
Suck.
probably met a little bit of disappointment so far this year. We also got ourselves a four-game NBA slate. At least it's four, right? I hate when Thursdays are only two or three. I can live with four.
I can live with four too. It's definitely a slate to get weird though, because the games, except for one, aren't really that appealing in my eyes.
I prefer five or six or more, but I can live with four guys. OverlayDFS.com, guys, check them out. The sweat is for real. I think last night was a great example of what they are trying to go for the user experience, because I played the $25 head-to-head, and I think I was winning almost all night long. And I don't like losing. Nobody likes losing, but I fell out of the money with like 2 minutes to go in the last game, and I was on the edge of my seat trying to figure out if I was going to maintain it. Didn't end up working out. We're on to today, but that is the user experience you're going for when you're playing DK. And we'll always play DK. That's where the bread is butter and everything like that. But like you might have 8 or 9 people going between all your different lineups. Here, I was rooting on one guy, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, it's not always going to work out right. At least, again, it's the sweat is real and it's awesome, man.
All right, guys. Drafters link is below if you want to check it out. We've been doing our daily drafts on there, but let's move into our DraftKings picks for the day, guys. So, guy I was looking at right away, and then I know you said that was somebody that was shortlisted for you, is going to be Benjamin Simmons of the Philadelphia Sixers, one of the game's premier three-point shooters. Ha ha, LOL. Not really, but this is a perfect game for Ben Simmons. What I mean by that is I like him in a tempo spot like this, and Washington is number one in pace of play. They're also a team that plays no defense. Where you don't like Ben Simmons is a half-court type of game where they can frustrate him. They can force him to dump it off to Joel Embiid. There's also, at this point, with no Thomas Bryant, a team that was struggling to protect the rim isn't going to have any of it. I'm assuming Embiid will get a lot of love today as well because there's going to be nobody there that's going to be able to guard him at all. I think Simmons is a good GPP pivot, or just play them both because I'm sure they both get plenty of love. Everybody's in a good spot against Washington. All you got to worry about is that they can keep it relevant for 4 quarters. But I think a guy like Simmons will find his way to meander into cash value, even if this game is a blowout. And these two teams have a big-time talent discrepancy, so it's not a surprise if that happens. But if this game was even semi-competitive, I think these guys can obliterate their value right here. They got no game yesterday, no game tomorrow. We've seen teams on back-to-backs have issues. There's none of that to worry about right here. I like everything Simmons offers me today.
Yeah, it's hard not to like pretty much every piece of Philly. And while most people have Embiid at the top of their list, and I get that. I mean, Washington has no big man, so he's going to be wildly popular, and he's certainly a guy I like a lot. Simmons is my favorite play from the Sixers, all things considered, at 8K. Again, he's going to be able to do whatever he wants, anywhere he wants on the floor. He's going to be able to get to the paint, get in the paint at will. Washington is very careless with the ball, so he's going to get, this is a great steal upside spot for him. He's cheap at 8K. I mean, if this game's close, he's got 60-plus upside here. Easy. I like him a ton.
He's not cheap at 8K overall. He's cheap at 8K for this matchup. I think we both see that one eye to eye. Like 8K, I think, is a normal price tag for him. But in this spot, I think 8K is way too cheap for him.
Yeah, agreed.
So let's hope Brad Beal has a good game and they keep this one competitive for 4 quarters. I know we rode the Magic hard the other day. The whole starting lineup, everybody was good except for Isaac was. Yeah, but everybody else succeeded for us, which you can't ask everybody to be good. And the fact that the rest of them worked out for us, we continue to pick on the Wizards, and they continue to just give up major DFS points.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you want to talk about your boy Kyle Lowry. I think the most important thing with Kyle Lowry, the Raptors aren't messing around. They played him 41 minutes last game. I realize he probably got all 5 minutes in the OT, but they played him 36 in regulation. He shot the ball terrible and still was, more than fine from a DFS perspective.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much more to say besides that. A guy, we know who Lowry is. He's very, very affordable at 7K. Was productive last time out besides, not being able to hit the ocean with the ball. Again, I don't expect him to shoot 2 of 18 again. Man, this is a great upside spot for Toronto. Houston, can't stop much of anybody. I expect this game to be really close. I don't see this game getting out of hand on either side. Two very, even teams in my mind. If you want to say revenge factor for Lowry, you could say that. I wouldn't because it doesn't matter to me. It's just a good spot for a guy that's maybe $1,000 too cheap in this spot. And 50 here is within play in my eyes.
Right. Is he going to necessarily shoot the ball great tonight, having been out for, I think, 11 games? No, not necessarily. But he probably ain't going to shoot it worse than he did last game. 0 of 11 from three-point range, 2 of 18 overall is pathetic. The price tag is more than fair. Houston is a pace-up spot for their opponent. And I'm with you. We can never guarantee a game is going to be close. Sometimes close games aren't close, or games projected to be close aren't close. But at a 231 with a -2, this game projects to be very, very close. The Raptors don't play again until Sunday, so there's no reason to really limit your starters' minutes or anything like that. They got a couple of days off after this. Kyle Lowry is a guy who is very, very affordable today.
I'm much more encouraged by the fact that he shot 18 times and 11 from 3 than the fact that he missed all those shots. I like him a ton here.
Next up, all right, so Marcus Morris is a guy who is listed as questionable on DraftKings today. But if you follow Fantasy Labs or anyplace else, they said yesterday, noon on Wednesday, that he planned to play today. So that's important to me. We talk about this with guys all the time. I am more encouraged by a guy who is questionable if they tell me 24 hours in advance he's good to go. When it's the last second, it's always a little bit more of a cause for pause for me. Now, I am not a guy that likes to go after bad matchups, and Denver is a bad matchup. Not as bad when you're in Denver, but it's still not a good spot for guys. However, Marcus Morris received over a 20% price drop only because he was out for 2 games, I'm guessing. He's legitimately averaging over 6x based on today's price tag of only $5K. You can run him at the 3 or the 4. And the Knicks have played a lot of really tough teams lately. Well, they do get another one tonight in Denver, so they're a little bit used to it. Hopefully coming off of a real embarrassing loss as one of the veteran players on this team. He plays hard tonight. Again, the Knicks aren't very good. But like most bad teams, they're also better at home. So I like Marcus Morris's price today more than anything.
Yeah, I figured you'd be going here when I first looked over the slate. He's way too cheap for his production, for where he's been priced, all the above. I do expect the Knicks to give an effort here after getting embarrassed like that. Doesn't mean they're going to win the game, but I'm not going to be surprised if this is like a game in the second half and all. Again, he's averaging GPP value. You can take out the borderline in there. He's averaging GPP value at this price over 6x. I mean, with how DK's pricing guys, you got to like that here.
Right. It just seems like we've had a few of these this year. You think about Malcolm Brogdon the other day when he first got back from the injury and he was priced at 6K. It just seems like a price misprint. Now, I also think that if this was a different player, he might get a lot of love today. But don't you feel like people still don't buy into Marcus Morris? So it's not like he's going to be uber chalk. Like, he'll get some love because of the price tag, but I don't think you're getting him at like 80% today or anything like that.
Oh, definitely not. He will be I think he'll be like 20 to 25% owned, which is, okay on a 4-game slate. And that's the other thing. I think that this play, like last night, would have been fine. Not like a play you have to like run towards, but even on a full slate, this would be in play. It's not a full slate tonight.
Yeah. Again, simplistic breakdown, Occam's razor, 32 average for DK points, and that has gotten better as the season has progressed. If you look through his game log, he's got GPP value in most of the games. So he averages that, and his price tag is 5K. I don't love picking on Denver, but I'm way more likely to do it because the game is in New York.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up. So you want to go right back to the Raptors. Your boy Norman Powell, massive GPP value in 5 of 9. Now, the team's a little bit different right now with Lowry back, with Ibaka playing again, but still, he had a big game last time out, and Houston gives up a ton of points to both the 2 and the 3, which are the positions he plays.
Yeah, I kind of went off something that you've been talking about that, so that's what drew me into Powell. Playing really, really well right now. Do we buy what he's selling? Is this what he's going to do all year? Probably not. This is a great spot for him to keep it going. He's still very affordable at 5,100. Coming off the bench now with Lowry in, I'm pretty sure, and I like that for him. Higher usage. He's still playing a ton of minutes. He played 30-plus minutes last time out. I expect him to be up there again today. He's a solid filler at 5,100. And again, I love everything that has to do with the Philly-Washington game. But Toronto's also in a good spot at home after getting not embarrassed by Miami because it went to OT, but losing a home game to Miami, a much better spot for them. That was the other thing about Lowry that we didn't mention. That game last time out was against Miami, an awful matchup. This is a much better matchup for both these guys. I don't consider Powell a must or anything like that. I just think he's a solid filler, and not a lot of people are going to go here, especially the same price as a Marcus Morris, who we just talked about.
Again, it's a good spot. And while I love the Philly guys, Embiid, Simmons, Tobias Harris, you name it, I think they're all in really good spots today to succeed against a Wizards team. I give this game a much, much better opportunity to being competitive for 4 quarters. Like, I'm not surprised at all if even on the road, Philly's up 30 points in the third quarter and Embiid and Simmons are chilling on the bench, eating burgers and whatnot in the fourth quarter.
I'm with you, man. I mean, Philly's just much better than Washington.
No, Washington sucks. We all know that, but that's why we love them for DFS points. If the game's competitive, it's competitive because Beal and maybe an Isaiah Thomas or something like that are playing really, really well and scoring points. It's not because Philly's struggling to score on Washington.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Best of luck today. Thumbs up is appreciated. OverlayDFS.com, drafters link below. You know the deal. We will see you guys a little bit later for some overlay talk.
Thanks, guys. Maisie says bye, too.